Basically, when we stepped into India, we were saying okay to starting over. It was like becoming a baby. We had to learn how to talk again and how to walk in this new environment and how to have a posture of humility and learning. Our community had to teach us how to operate there. And I didn't know what I was doing. I had to learn. And the grace they gave us to learn and grow and to have room to fail was amazing.
Joyn at the start said, we're going to create more jobs in order to allow people to decide for themselves what it is that they want to do in their lives. When we have work, we have the tools to decide how do we want to live our lives? What is it that we want to do? The decision part, right? That's never in our hands without work.
We have such an amazingly diverse group of people. That diversity brought so much to our team. Kids that grow up on the street and guys that have struggled with addiction happen to be extremely scrappy and bright. They just didn't have their break in life.
The idea of Joyn is a bringing together of commerce with compassion. We found that it's not sufficient to market compassion. You have to make really great things that are good for the world and good for people. And you have to make them in such a way that it's good for the producers. And it's magical when those three things come together. That's what we're chasing.
So 20 minutes from our home is this leper colony that was established by a Sisters of Charity, a woman named Agnes, that hated the fact that at the time in India, lepers were really only able to beg for income. And she thought they should work and that they should have the joy of work. You drive up into this place and it's peaceful and calm and loving, and then you begin to hear the clicking noises of the looms and the wheels spinning. So when I found KKM and these women and incredible people spinning and weaving, I knew that every product we made, I wanted it to start with that.
We buy fabric from KKM, then we do block printing. After that, it will go into cutting, stitching, quality control. We even do our marketing here. We do our own white box shot, and we'll upload the images on the website, and like everything we do that in-house. Good? Oh, this is very difficult. I mean, it is even more difficult than production, doing production. Whew, I'm sweating.
हम इतने दिन बाद मिल रहे हैं. Thank you, हम लोग को यहाँ पे आने दें. We are here right now. This area is called Saharanpur Chowk, Kavli Road, and Khudbuda Mohalla. This is really a sort of a shanty slum area where a lot of migrants from Bihar as well as other communities who constitute the sort of oppressed, marginalized communities in India based on the caste system here, they live. I had met Malti about 8 years ago when we'd started a vocational training program. And so that's when Malti had joined, because she was very eager to learn not only stitching and block printing, but also to continue her education to read and write. And she's moved on from making cotton bags now to learning to sew the harder, more complicated Rexine bags. She's a really important part of the workforce, and she's pretty incredible in the work she does.
आप फैमिली की तरह रहते हैं, सब मन लगा रहता है, एक दूसरे का दुख मुसीबत भी बांट सकते हैं, ये भी है। लड़ाइयाँ भी करते हैं, साथ में भी रहते हैं।
And she makes everyone laugh a lot. Keep moving, keep moving. That's her favorite phrase when she's in the lunch line. Okay.
I grew up in Overland Park, Kansas, which is a suburb of Kansas City. My parents, because they came out of farming communities, just instilled this entrepreneurial spirit in me from a young age. I remember at 6 years old, Mom was telling me as we were picking the garden, we had a huge garden because they came out of farming. If I picked enough green beans for the family, that whatever else I picked, I could go sell on the street. And I was like, for real money? She's like, well, you planted those and harvested them, so yeah. And that's really the time I found my entrepreneurial spirit.
Mel is just fearless. She is somebody who will never believe that something cannot be done.
Mel is very unique, and we cannot have so many like her. She's very kind, very loving, very talented, and she had really a heart for India, heart for women, empowering them.
She'll never allow a person's failures or flaws to ever overshadow their strengths. She always looks at strengths.
Mel has a lot of influence, and I think it's because she's so honest, and it's also because she believes anything is possible. I like that she brings out the best out of people, more than they thought they had inside them.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Great. Hi, Shelma. You're looking good. Did you get a haircut?
I got a haircut, yes. You noticed.
Joe, show us the office real quick, man. I want to see it. Wow. Whoa, kya baat hai. Kya baat hai. Proximity was always so key for us. Like, we felt like if we were going to go in and use what we had to hopefully create some good stuff in the world, that we needed to choose proximity to people who were very different than us, that had a lot less than us. And so it was the thing that really made a difference. And not just in the community, it made a difference for us. It's what changed us the most. And that had to suddenly change unexpectedly.
When we were blacklisted from India, I was so angry because I think we just had the sense that it was just some administrative stroke of a pen. And that's what came out in court, is that they had no idea who we were or what we were up to. They had no idea that we had 200 people working at the time. They had no idea they were turning our life totally upside down.
Ultimately, it came down to the fact that a friend of ours who happens to be a pastor in America was visiting and put my name on his visa application. And so we were flagged, although it had nothing to do with our businesses or our life in India. And we unexpectedly had to leave our home, and it sucked. It was the hardest thing we've ever gone through.
This was what we had been working up to our whole lives. This is what we had been hoping that someday we might be able to build together. And then we were able to do it together. And it grew right out of our hearts. And then it was just summarily chopped off with no due process, no consideration.
We were experiencing more depth of community and life than we'd ever experienced anywhere. And having to leave that left this like, will we ever get to do that again? This is the part that's hard.
I still do not believe, if I'm very honest, that I will be able to do this. But I know that I can try it. And sometimes that itself is the biggest thing, because a lot of times you won't even start.
The almost comical part of it is that we set out to start something that would be locally led and self-sustained by year 5. And we had to leave 5 days after our 5-year mark. And so we're in the Golden Triangle now, the border of Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand. And we're only about an hour and a half ahead of time zone from our team in India. They get to visit frequently. We've got workshops. We do all sorts of business training. So for now, best possible scenario.
I'll tell you the painful thing first, that she's not here. She cannot see the way this company is growing and dreaming and being united. Everything that she would always talk about, but not because, oh, we should do it for her. It's because we truly and completely believe in that. But there's such a big part of this whole thing that not having her here is like a constant void that we feel. I'm not exaggerating when I say every day, several times. The good thing, the positive thing that has come out of them not being here is just that we have all sort of stepped up. And I can notice that even in myself and all the other leaders of this community, people in this community who say, you know what, we'll do it. One of the taglines that Joyn would use early on, which I love, is the more hands it takes to make a product, the more lives that this product can touch and transform. So it's not just a handbag. It is so much more than that. It's all of these stories of courage and redemption and purpose. It is a community of people in the base of the Himalayas who have come together to transform their own lives. It's a stitcher deciding that she's going to take the responsibility of sending her kids to school. It's a block printer deciding that he is going to use his hands to create something that will enable him to provide for his family. It's all of us being able to find ourselves and really see what we're capable of. That's what a Joyn handbag is.
So what have you got there?
We just got a letter from the government of India, and we're still trying to process this, and we're in a bit of shock.
We'll read that last.
The last part says that our matter has been considered in the ministry and there's no impediment for our visit. Like, we think it means that we can actually go back and visit India after 4 years that they've welcomed us back. And I'm still freaking out a little bit, sorry, I don't...
Hi! I bring melody, okay, for you guys. Happy? कैसे हो?
Right now. Where is he? Huh?